If you're thinking about buying or investing in DC, you should probably know what's in the works for the grander scheme of new construction development around DC. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Hi, welcome back to another Coffee with Coleman. We love to discuss Washington, DC, business, real estate, all that good stuff. My name is John Coleman. I'm a real estate agent here in Washington, DC with the Jason Martin Group. Today, we're gonna break down what I think are some of the bigger developments to be watching here in 2023, because they're gonna have an impact on not only the people that live in those neighborhoods, but the people that think about buying. You wanna be strategic and you wanna purchase in a place that could see some overall appreciation in the long term, you might follow some of these developments with the caveat that most of them are still plans or they still have lots of things to work out. So I wouldn't put all your chickens in one basket, but it's a way to make an educated decision one way, shape, or form. All right, so first thing is RFK. And DC's Mayor Muriel Bowser couldn't stand the sight of RFK crumbling remains anymore and exclaiming that we needed a makeover. And boy, are there some ideas in store. I think there's about $60 million that's going into a recreation center. Even though there's still a lot of debate on it, they're working thoroughly and going through. There's gonna be indoor tracks, gymnastics, all the things that you can imagine. And there's also gonna be like a gateway park or a mix of like culture and recreation and some like arches. Like they're talking about like trying to make something like the Gateway Arch or like the Champs de Mars. I want to get global. It's kind of like being in France or something when you're here, but I don't know what's gonna look like there. And the important thing with the RFK site is there's always that lingering potential that was once RFK Stadium becomes some type of stadium. The Washington, whatever the team name is going to be at any given time, might make a comeback. With Dan Snyder set to sell the team, there's a real possibility that that might happen. We know that the NFL wants the game back in DC, and there is plenty of room to have parking and have a stadium and all that. And let's say if they want to be the Washington team, maybe they should be in Washington. Whether you like it or against it, there's lots of people that have opinions, but it's something to keep on your radar as you're continuing to track. Next is the McMillan sand filtration site. Kind of like move closer and further away depending on whatever week if you're tracking this project. There is a big balance of preservation versus progress that they're really trying to adhere to. The historical integrity in the green space will be retained while addressing the community needs of like housing and retail amenities and food access and job opportunities. So the district plans to invest about $100 million in public infrastructure around this area, including an 8-acre park, a community center. Vision McMillan partners will be handling the overall development, which includes a grocery store, includes restaurants, includes townhouses and rental apartments, and some healthcare facilities. The project is expected to generate approximately 2,000 jobs, and that includes a workforce development fund with scholarships to support the education and career paths for residents. But stay tuned, because again, like there's a lot of debate on this one, so there's ebbs and flows, and we want to see what ends up going on with it. So let's dive, and it's funny to say because we're talking about waterfront, the exciting project that's coming along in the Southwest waterfront with Waterfront Station 2. This is a 12-story, 400,000 square foot building that is set to make a splash, bringing a vibrant mix of retail, residents, and even a performing arts and theater space to the area. And guess who wants to be a part of all that action? Apple Tree School. It's a local early childhood education provider that will also call this place home. When it comes to housing, Waterfront Station will offer a total of 449 rentals, with a generous 136 of those units designated as affordable housing. What's cool is about half of those affordable housing units will be reserved for households earning less than 30% of the area median income. So they're trying to create a real community of inclusivity and diversity. Just kind of like Arena Stage and the Anthem in the neighborhood. It's going to be a hub of creativity and excitement. They're aiming to welcome people by the end of this year, so by the end of 2023. But I will warn you, whenever I see deadlines for pieces and places this big, they tend to be a little bit delayed. It'll be interesting to continue to watch this vibrant Southwest waterfront area. Next up, we have the Stacks. So Akridge and National Real Estate Development have kicked off a groundbreaking ceremony for phase 1 of the Stacks, which is an exciting development in Washington, DC's Buzzards Point neighborhood, which wasn't really much of a neighborhood. Like a long time ago, it was just kind of like a dump and a trash field, but now it's got Audi Field, it's got its first condo building, but not many people actually go down and know about it. But this place is about to be legitimate. So this joint venture is owned by Akridge, Bridge Investment Group, and a couple other ones. And again, you can go, I'll have the link below if you want to learn more about it. It's set to bring a vibrant mix of retail and residential space to the Capitol Riverfront area. So the important thing is this one's probably the most long way off. Going to be completed by 2025. And again, we're talking about flexible timeline, especially we're talking about 2 years out from now. But it's going to offer about 1,100 rental apartments along with approximately 35,000 feet of retail space. And that's all going to be connecting to everything that's been happening in Navy Yard backyard because it's right there by the ballpark. Audi Field is cool. You're gonna have all this stuff going on. It's gonna be a place to kind of hang out. DC is finally taking advantage of waterfront area, and I'm excited to see what they actually do with it. While we don't have the prettiest water in the world, we do have water, and we should be using it, or at least looking at it. I wouldn't swim in it. So the other interesting thing is the stack's design draws on inspiration from a rich history of Washington, DC neighborhoods and the charm in the walkable communities around the world, actually. The development team collaborated and wanted to make sure that they did not just some cookie cutter stuff. So they're making, through the middle of it, it's a pedestrian only road. So they want to make it walkable and bikeable, and they want to make sure that people can just kind of have this lively action and community without having to deal with all those pesky cars, because we know, DC is not the best drivers in the world. And so what you see is what you get, and it's going to be pretty remarkable looking. So let me know in the comments below if this is something that you think is an added bonus and really cool, or if you say it's not going to be your vibe once it's in here. All right, next up we have St. Elizabeth's. There's exciting new plans for the redevelopment of St. Elizabeth campus, which is in Ward 8. DC developer Red Brick has submitted plans for a project named Sycamore and Oak to the Historic Preservation Office. So we'll see what they think about it. The centerpiece of the development is a 5-building complex spanning about 650,000 square feet, featuring large public parks, a hotel, affordable housing, and retail space. Renderings reveal that there is an interconnected set of buildings with an 80,000 square foot public park at the heart of it, complemented by a performance pavilion. So if you want to go get some of those outdoor concerts, they want to have you there. Also, the retail area wants to house a grocery store, restaurants, and 8 local businesses. Additionally, a chef's in residence program led by Jose Andres, which is kind of awesome. He's all over the place, and he wants to make sure that he brings his culinary expertise and has locally sourced food for the whole development. The plans for Sycamore Oak seek to revitalize the historic St. Elizabeth campus in the southeast, with redevelopment being just one part of the larger transformation. The project will include at least 150 affordable residences, catering to households with incomes ranging from 30 to 80% median family income. The next step for the project is to undergo the historic review approval process, and we hope that's quick, but it usually never is. Once completed, the ambitious redevelopment is set to inject new life into the area, enhancing the community that's already there and contributing to the vibrancy of the former psychiatric hospital site. And last up, and certainly not least, Amazon offices are opening up. Amazon's HQ2 in Arlington is making significant progress. The project is set to be complete with 25,000 jobs by 2030, with over 8,000 jobs already created. Amazon has been one of the most long promised and long focused on things of that area. I have friends that already are working for Amazon that are reporting to some of the structures. Now, the big structure has been paused for a hot second here, but it's just an idea that it's going to probably get unpaused as the market and we work through whatever is happening in this general economy. But Amazon site is going to be going, and I know that it seems like they're going to be bringing more people back into the office. So I can only imagine what that's going to continue to do with National Landing, which is what they've renamed that entire Crystal City, Pentagon City kind of area. We're already seeing values for a long time being severely implicated by that. One of my tips, I don't know why people don't follow this, Huntington. Huntington is right down the metro line, and it's connected to Amazon through Metro line. It's super easy to get to. You can get a house there for still like 400,000 to 500,000, and you are walkable to the metro and you can get there. I don't know why people aren't jumping on that, but if I was investing and I was looking for a spot, I would consider that. Reach out to me if you want to know a little bit more about what to think about in that neighborhood, because I do have a couple people that have already done something. All right, and so in the comments below, I'm also going to put a link to an entire construction pipeline that's coming up from a couple different resources. So if you want to know what's going on, you should be an educated buyer, and you should be an educated citizen, whether you're renting or buying. That's all the projects going on there, and we want to know more about what you want to hear about along with it. All right, so that's all I had to talk about today. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and of course, always feel free to reach out. And at the end of the day, I would love for you to stay in and watch another one of my videos. So check out one of these things coming right up next. Peace.